Come in.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Christian.
Cal, nice to meet you, Christian. Alright, Christian, just a bit of an ethical scenario for you here.
Sure.
So you've been caught cheating in one of your high school exams and are in the principal's office. The principal thinks that you shared the answer with one of your friends. You did, and you know that your friend cheated too. Do you tell the truth when the principal asks if you gave the answers?
Sure. So I guess in this situation, I guess there's a really big struggle between, I guess, on one hand being as honest as possible, but then on the other hand putting, a friend of mine in a very difficult position. So in terms of, I guess the tug of war that's going on here, the issues regarding, telling the principal here would revolve around, I guess, firstly, the betrayal that my friend would actually feel towards the situation. And so, obviously, there's been trust between us, the fact that we have both cheated in this test. And so by, explaining or I guess, confessing to the principal may really make, the friend feel like I've betrayed our friendship in this regard. Looking further on, it also runs the potential of, myself, like making a name for myself as the person that does, I guess, rat out to the principal about issues that are going on. And it might be actually difficult for me to make friends or warm up with people later on. So, again, this is another issue that I would be considering in that scenario. But I guess in terms of telling the principal, there are a lot of things going for it. And firstly, like I alluded to before, the honesty is such a big key thing here. The fact of the matter is I did cheat on this test. I did do something wrong. And so, regardless of, whether we're going to look at whether lying was, bad or good, I did something wrong. And so the most honest thing to do would be to confess to the situation here. But then secondarily to that, lying to the principal is another issue. And it's like I'm digging a hole further and further. I've done something wrong. I'm doing something wrong again. And so, by I guess, confessing to the principal here, it's a way for me to maintain my integrity and own up to the situation that's actually occurred in this scenario. I think personally, my integrity is something that, I really do value. And, like every human being, you often slip up, but being able to recognize that and owning up to it and not, making it a bigger situation than what it is something that is important to me. So I guess, with those things considered, it would make sense to confess to the situation. And then finally, I think the biggest thing also is that by, I guess trying to protect my friend in this situation, if we look at it long term, I'm not actually doing the best thing for that friend. I'm putting them in a position where they, are, I guess, diminishing the respect that they have for their academic career. They've obviously cheated, and so by me not, helping them try to see, how important being honest is throughout your, academic journey, I'm actually doing them a disservice there. And so with all this considered, I guess that I would confess to the principal. As tough as it is, I would, want to maintain my honesty and integrity. I would, in that situation, explain my concerns here, explain that, if word, did get out, or, if the situation is, misconstrued amongst others, it put me in a very difficult position. I would, obviously the principal doesn't really, have to do anything in that situation, but I would like to keep that, open on the table, that there is my concern. And finally, I guess the one thing, in confessing in that scenario that I would ask is that, even though I am, saying that yes, my friend also did cheat, I would request a little bit of time to maybe pull that friend aside before he's told by the principal. I'd like to, speak with that friend and explain why I actually did what I did before, he would, hear it from the principal and explain, I've been put in a very difficult position. I feel, like my integrity has been, put at risk here, and it has the potential to snowball. And so it was nothing.
That's all the time we have for. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.